7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Nine weeks have come and gone in the Trish's Learning Center Gen 6 Series. That means tonight is the final race of the regular season. After tonight's race, 12 drivers will punch their ticket into the chase for the championship. We are at Kansas Motor Speedway for the last chance showdown to make the chase. Welcome in, everyone. I am Joshua King. With me in the booth tonight is 2025 NIS Daytona 500 winner, Matt Drafty Beef Everard. Drafty, it's been a while since we've shared the booth, and happy to have you with us tonight. Tell us a little bit about Kansas Motor Speedway.
Hey, I'm excited to be back up in the booth, the dynamic duo back at it for a race. I'm excited. But yes, tonight, Top Tier Racing is at Kansas Motor Speedway. Kind of one of the newer tracks on the NASCAR circuit. Opened in 2001. It's a 1.5 mile tri-oval. Known for its multiple racing grooves and fast speed with progressive banking ranging from about 17 to 20 degrees in the turns, which allows for side-by-side racing and exciting finishes.
Right on, man. Awesome knowledge as always. Now, Drafty, I mentioned just a minute ago, this is the final chance to punch your ticket into the championship, 12, if you will. Do you think any of these drivers below the cut line right now can squeak into the playoffs with tonight's race, and why?
And I tell you, if anyone's got a chance, probably the 59 at Jim Thorndike's got the best chance. Now, he is 21 points beneath the cut line, so he's still going to need to have a really solid finish tonight, and he's going to need someone that's right above that cut line or on the cut line to have a rough night, and that would be like either the 11 of Kenny Kucko, the 03 of Nick Ruffini, or the 22 of JD Van Kirk. So if those guys have a rough night and Jim's got a good night, it is quite possible for them to get in, but it's going to be a tough one to accomplish.
It definitely is, and no one, as we were looking at it, we realized nobody was close enough to really make it a 1 or 2 position type swing, right? As you just mentioned, has to be significant, top 5 and outside the top 20, if you will.
Yeah, it's got to be quite a drastic turn of events, and anything's possible when it comes to racing. So you never give up, never surrender, and you never know, you might come out on top. You just have to wait and find out.
It's going to be a good one, and like I mentioned, happy to have you along for the ride, sir. We take a look now at the 53 of Robbie Minor, who is also just outside of that cut line. Needs a little bit more work and things to go right for him this evening than the 59 of Jim Thorndike. We're going to talk to Jim here momentarily in the pre-race show, but right now we're going to try to speak with this guy, the 71 draftee, not 11, the 71 of Kenny Kuko.
Yes, sir. Let's get him up on in here.
Kenny, Joshua up in the booth. You got a copy, sir?
I gotcha.
Kenny, thanks for joining us this evening. You come into the final race of the regular season sitting right on that cut line. You're 12th. Of course, you have a fairly substantial lead on the next two guys below you. But what do you need to do tonight to not only secure your spot in that final 12, but then also maybe even move up 2 or 3 spots going into the playoffs?
Yeah, it'd be nice to move up a couple spots because you get a bonus point for every, position higher you are from the cut line. So I think tonight, the main goal is, I think mathematically, just kind of shoot for a top 12. In theory, that should keep me around 12th in points at a minimum. I did some testing earlier this week, and it felt like after lap 7, it was just went off a cliff and was snappy loose. So I'm going to try to take it easy on this start wherever I qualify and just try to take care of the car the whole race and kind of just see where I end up. I don't think I'll be super aggressive.
Hello, Mike.
But, if a hole opens up, I'm still going to have to take it.
Absolutely. You got to do what you got to do to lock it into position. And obviously, you don't want to be in a situation where you push it too hard and then all of a sudden have issues with the car and finish dead last and something insane happens. But it is a fairly good spot to be at the very least, simply because you're obviously Kuko eMotorsports, and then the next guy closest to you that's going to be taking the field tonight is also Kuko eMotorsports. So that has to make you feel a little bit good. If you don't get in, it's probably him, right?
Yeah, I think worst case scenario, hopefully at least we get one of our 2 that are out in today. That would be the main goal. Obviously, the best case scenario, we can get both of us in there. Jim's been fast. I think as long as I have a feeling we're going to have some, not just self spins, but, the car's going to swing loose. So I think as long as we just keep our nose clean and be there, I think we'll have a shot to get both these cars in. Obviously, that's the main goal, but reality, that's going to be pretty tough, but hopefully we can get one of us in there.
For sure, man. I'm confident about at least one of you getting in. This whole season you've been back and forth, even trying to play catch up, trying to get yourself in there. Had some unfortunate circumstances occur, and then some back and forth races, but you're in a good spot to ultimately make it. We know that you can go the distance and pull some upsets off in the chase as well. So before we let you go, Kenny, anyone you'd like to thank or shout out this evening?
Yeah, just got to shout out everyone at Kuko eMotorsports. We've been working hard to try to get all our cars in the playoffs and make ground on the revved up guys who are been killing it this season. Shout out to our main sponsors. We got Trish's Learning Center, all the contingent sponsors that help us out throughout the season. And then, shout out to Royalty Network for broadcasting and putting on a good show for everybody.
Right on, man. Appreciate it. Always good to talk to you, sir. We'll let you get back to business, and maybe we'll be talking to you after the race.
Yep, I hope so. We'll see you later, Josh.
We'll see you. Drafty, we both know Kenny very well, right? And he's obviously very cool, calm, collected, and confident, I would say, going into tonight's race about where he's at.
Oh, definitely. Kenny, he's a solid driver. Like you said, very good dude, calm, level-headed. So he'll just plug away at the laps, lap after lap tonight, and I'm sure we'll see him up front at some point.
100%. I don't doubt that one bit. Now, we're going to try to find the 59 of Jim Thorndike, who coincidentally is... Oh, there he is. Red, white, and blue. 59, Kuko eMotorsports of Jim Thorndike. Gonna get with him next. Also, Kuko eMotorsports driver. Jim, Joshua in the booth. You got a copy, sir?
Yes, sir.
Thanks for joining me this evening briefly here as we wrap up practice here in about 5 minutes. You're outside the cut line coming into tonight. Obviously, puts an extra amount of pressure on you, but you are within striking distance. Tell us what you feel you have to do tonight to pull off the upset and clinch a playoff spot.
Well, I think I got to be consistent and stay out of trouble. And hopefully I can play the right strategy and get me a top 5 finish and propel me into the playoffs.
Yeah, for sure. And we just talked to your teammate / team owner, Kenny Kuko. We know if you make your way in, last thing you want is for him to not make his way in. Ideally, you'd like to get both of you in there. So one of the guys in front of him would have to have a rough night. It's scheduled to be 21 cars on the grid as of tonight, so you could definitely get it done. How do you feel ultimately coming in 14th in points right now? How do you feel about the overall season thus far?
I think it's had its ups and downs. I've struggled at a few tracks and I've excelled at a couple other tracks. So hopefully tonight Lady Luck will be on my side and I'll be able to pull off an upset.
Right on, man. Well, just approaching 3.5 minutes to go in practice, so we don't want to keep you too long. But anyone you'd like to thank or shout out tonight before we let you go?
Yeah, I'd like to thank DeKalb Sycamore GMC for sponsoring. I'd like to thank Kuko Motorsports, my teammates. I'd like to thank the military for all that they do for us and keeping us safe. And I'd like to thank you for broadcasting because you do a great job week in and week out.
Right on, Jim. Appreciate it, man. Always nice to talk to you. Best of luck tonight. And maybe, just maybe, we'll talk to you after the race.
Yes, sir. One can only hope.
That's right. Once again, folks, that was the driver number 59, Jim Thorndike, that's on your screen. Drafty. Jim also seems very calm, cool, collected. Have to believe that's probably the leadership and the tutoring, if you will, of Mr. Kenny Kuko himself.
Oh, most definitely.
Let's go ahead and move on through the field during practice, show you some more guys on the speedway. And here's your second quick driver right now, the 13 of Christian Proctor. This ain't a race, it's a mow job.
Dale's mow and go. I love it.
Christian always has some really cool paints, man. I'm still intrigued by the one that had all the faces, and of course mine up on the front. But then we go here to the 25 of Aikman Pollard, 2.5 Designs Tennessee Speed Chevy Camaro. These are slick paint jobs, Drafty.
They're looking nice. Some good drivers right here too, part of the Tennessee Speed team.
It's cool to have Tennessee Speed guys back with us, and Aikman Pollard specifically, one of the first guys I had met on the service. Then we go here to his teammate, just flip-flopped paint jobs, but still 2.5 Designs. Another sharp-looking ride there for the 24, Dalton Moore. Got the car sitting fourth quick in practice. And then we go to the guys we just talked to. We'll jump on down the board. Drafty, introduce us to this guy.
Oh, here we go. We got the 69, Mr. Marty White. Look at that beautiful red, white, and blue stripes on the side. Stop Soldier Suicide. Love it. Check 6 Motorsports. You know, I have to say, watching Marty racing against him this season, he has done quite well for himself. Proved leaps and bounds. He's been fun to race against this season.
He has done very well. And talk about a next guy that has done very well. This guy out of Tifton, Georgia, in the Snap-on Tools Ford Mustang, Jeremy Gill. Drafty, talk to us just a little bit about Jeremy Gill's improvement, not only in the top-tier racing league, but abroad in other leagues as well.
I mean, Jeremy is like you said about Aikman. Jeremy's probably one of the first people I became friends with through iRacing. I mean, we've been racing very long time, back when I had my first league, Lucky Dog, and man, he is we used to be able to we'd be side by side every race battling each other, and I tell you, I can't even catch him now. It's hard to catch him. He's just leaps and bounds better.
He has improved, and a lot of that due to the help of Sisk Speed Shop. He contributes a lot of his success back to them. So nice work for them. And practice is already done. Drafty, it flies by in a hurry, don't it?
It sure does. Look at that. J.D. Van Kirk ended up being quickest in practice. We'll have to see if that can carry over to qualifying.
That's right. Just had to do a little bit of cleanup. It was amateur hour in the pre-race show, folks. I still had the voice chat on as I raced last night. Let's go to qualifying now and see who's out on track. Oh, Shane Wheeldon didn't like his start.
Let's try this again. Give it another shot.
He'll try it again in that Toyota Supra. Let's go here to the 5 of Nick Boyd. Coming out on track. Haven't seen him just yet. Gets up to speed. Here's the 37 Liquid Death Kuko eMotorsports ride of Jake Raven.
That's a good, clean, respectful driver right there.
It is indeed one of my favorites. Onward we go, Drafty.
At the 70, a Dylan Canova. Oh yeah, he's one of the stronger drivers here in top tier racing. Definitely always up towards the front. I'd say 90% of the races. If he's not winning them, he's definitely close to it.
I would agree, and I'm also slightly biased to this paint, the purple and black. I do like that one. I feel like he alternates between this one and like the green and white. First quick time on the board, 30.46. Or 4.57 to be exact, J.D. Van Kirk.
So it looks like he is able to carry some of that speed over from practice. That's a sharp-looking ride as well. He always does such a good job with his paints.
He does. Autism awareness paint for J.D. Van Kirk. He did slightly slower, faster. 30.485 on lap 2. Still sits at the top of the board. Drafty. JD's trying to seal the deal for them playoffs.
Yeah. Oh, just as we say it, Jake Raven up to the top. 30.42.
Good lap from Jake Raven. Ooh, Nick Raffini on his second lap. 30.48 goes fourth quick right now. Oh. There's Latham Joyner.
Wanted to point out, looks like Thorndike is going to end up placing 9th to start here, which he was looking to be ahead of both Kuko and Ruffini. So not a great start to it, but maybe he can make it up during the race.
Right.
Get out in front.
Yeah, you never know, right? I mean, it's not just a game of where you qualify, but then you got to save the tires, play the strategy just right, and of course, avoid the wrecks.
Yep, that's another big part of it too. No fast repairs in top tier racing, so once you damage it, it's damaged. You either gotta sit in pits for the whole time or limper around just to get points.
Yeah, definitely not something you want to do. Dalton Moore improved a little bit on lap 2, 30.503. That's currently 11th quick. Shane Wheeldon in the 83 finally did get a lap down, and that was lap 2, 30.67. Doesn't improve his starting position. Drafty, he'll roll off 15th comfortably in the chase for the championship.
Not too bad of a lap there. Looking here, Joyner ends up taking the P2. Could not knock Jake Raven off a pole.
Jake Raven, first pole of the season. Good to see that for him, assuming this guy doesn't set it right now. And 34.26. He goes second quick. He just missed it. Man.
Oh, my gosh.
Holy moly. I almost called it.
Look at that first and second place. It's almost like I think they got the same exact time. There's no interval gap there. It's minus 0.00.
Yeah, I think it came down to the thousandth. Let's look. 30.421, 30.426. So
Okay.
by by 5 thousandths of a second, Jake Raven holds on to the pole. Holy moly. That's about as close as qualifying's been all season, I believe. I mean, I've done every single one of these, so
Yeah, that is close.
certainly
All
is. As now, folks, we take a nice look at Kansas Motor Speedway, and the drivers begin their drivers' meeting and small warm-up session, and then they'll advance to taking the grid. Let's take an opportunity to say hi to those in chat. Jeff, welcome in. Robert Altman, welcome in. Thanks for joining us. Hopefully you enjoy the show. Drafty, you and I have had the opportunity to call a couple of Robert Altman's race over there in the Hold Your Brakes Academy on Monday nights last season.
Yep, that was a good time.
It was good to have him back. I'm so glad we're back together, even if it's a one-off race. We got the band back together.
All right. Nothing quite like getting the band back together again on a mission from God. If you get that reference, we can be friends.
Yes, very nice. Let's talk briefly here, Drafty. Who is your pick? Obviously, there's some obvious picks who have consistently done very well throughout the season, and then there's some more potential sleeper picks that could come up and win. But who's your pick to win the championship in Season 3 of Top Tier Racing?
Man, it's tough looking at the points here. Yeah, man. Let's see here, from first place to fourth place is only a 15-point difference, so it's super close, man. And I think I'll pick Christian Proctor. He's been having a killer season. He's up there fighting second in points right now.
Yeah, he has. He's had a lot of good runs, got himself a win, put himself in a nice spot. And you alluded to it earlier, Drafty, when we're looking at the overall points, just how close the top 12 actually are. It kind of goes off a cliff after that, but the top 12, extremely close. Going to be a fun playoffs to watch. But now, folks, we have your starting grid, and starting on pole, the 37 of Jake Raven. Starting to his outside is the 18 of Patrick Gentner. Latham Joyner in the 3 car will roll off third. J.D. Van Kirk in the 22 will start 4th. Nick Boyd in the 5 will roll off 5th. Nick Raffini in the 03 goes off 6th. Kenny Cucco in the 71 will start 7th. Robbie Minor in the 53 will start 8th. That's his highest starting position of the season. Christian Proctor in that 13, Drafty's pick for the championship, will roll off 9th. And rounding out the top 10 is going to be Aikman Pollard in that 25. Drafty?
Firing off in 11th place, we have the 59, Jim Thorndike, followed closely by the 24, Dalton Moore. In 12th, starting 13th place, number 30 of Timothy Presley. And 14th will be that number 4 of Mr. Jeremy Gill. 15th, Jorge Ledesma Jr. in the 44. And Shane Wielden in the 83, rolling off 16th. Starting 17th, Davis Shibley in the 85. And Dylan Canova starting 18th tonight in the number 70. Jacob Wilson in the 51, starting P19. And rounding out our top 20, we have Marty White in the 69. And I'll just take you through the last 4. Here's Zach White in the 77. We'll be starting 21st. 22nd goes to Rob Higgs Jr. in the 14. The number 19 of Kelly Akron will start 23rd, and 24th rounding out the field, the 55 Dan Ames. I do not see on track, huh?
That is correct, Drafty. Dan Ames did not make it, but we are green, and man, that happened in a hurry. It snuck up on us, and Jake Raven leads the field down into turn 1.
Great start there on the inside line. Outside line didn't quite get a good jump. They fall back a couple car lengths there on that start. First lap in the books. Jake Raven still out front. Latham Joyner hot on his tail. Right behind him, the 11 of Kenny Kucko and the 5 of Nick Boyd duking it out there for third.
Good side-by-side work here so far, and Nick Boyd is on the high side. Kenny Kucko trying to keep it low right now, and right on that back bumper of the 37, Drafty.
Saw that wicked move by the 3 of Latham Joyner there. He had just such a great slip angle into that corner. And was able to carry so much speed right on the outside of everybody. Takes away first place. Jake Raven's going to fall back to third now, fighting on, holding on to the second position with the 5 of Nick Boyd.
Speaking of moving fast on the high side, that 5 of Nick Boyd got around 2 guys on the outside and now sets his sights potentially on the 3, and he cuts it inside.
Move there, the 3 tried to cut that almost like a dog leg. Racing hard here, lap 4. Battling for the lead, 5 on the inside, 3 up high. We've seen the 3 of Joyner have a lot of speed up there. We'll see what he can do here. Looks like the 5 will get the lead. Boyd takes the lead, will lead that lap. Joyner hot on his tail though, looking back to the inside again. Back and forth they go here through turns 1 and 2. Boyd falling back and Joyner taking the lead once again.
Man, this is a heck of a start up front. Oh, and just as I say that, our first caution of the evening comes out on lap 5, and let's go back and take a look at it. Looks like potentially Davis Shively involved.
That's unfortunate there. Oh no. So they were 3 wide. 4 comes up a little bit, smacks the 85. 85 goes out. Who is that? The 83?
It was the 53 on the outside. That's Robbie Minor. Oh, and then hard contact into the inside wall. Rough start for Davis Shively and Robbie Minor, unfortunately. Drafty, who do you think had the lead there when that caution flag waved?
Well, iRacing says Joyner.
It was close, wasn't it?
Yeah, they were bad. They were duking it hard. It's such a shame the caution came out right there. There's some great racing out front. I'll say, what is everyone doing? They had me fooled. They had me fooled. Come on, hold on. I was like, what are you guys doing? It's lap 6. There ain't no way.
I mean, that was wild. I thought they were all going. I was about to say the same thing. We do, though, have quite a few cars down pit road. Patrick Gentner, really nice qualifying position, but had fell a lot of spots very quickly. Shane Wheeldon in the 83 is in. Dylan Canova already in. Interesting deal there.
Maybe something with fuel. Be able to stay out a little bit longer.
Maybe so. Rob Higgs Jr. also, we didn't mention him, Drafty. He is right below Jim Thorndike, so an outside chance to make something happen here tonight. And then, of course, Robbie Minor, Davis Shively, heavy damage on those rides. down
Yeah,
pit road.
looking at everyone else that pit, 5 seconds, 6 seconds, 6 seconds, 6 seconds. That's got to be fuel only for these stops.
Yeah, absolutely.
Interesting strategy call. We'll have to see how that plays out for him.
Well, and honestly, this is basically a playoff race, right? Like every driver knows, hey, this is not only my last opportunity to either get in or stay in, but it's my last opportunity to move up, set myself apart from the rest, or get with those top 3, top 4 to give myself a chance at the championship, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's what I do like about this chase, format, though, too, is like to get up there, you have to. Some of these people are, far enough behind. Even winning doesn't mean you're gonna get in. So you gotta have had a pretty decent season and at least be in striking distance to do anything here.
Right. Absolutely. 8 laps in, the lights are off on the iRacing.com pace car, and folks, this time we're going to be ready, and Drafty's going to bring us back to green. That one snuck up on us, man.
We were ready.
We were ready. It was perfect timing.
We shall see the iRacing.com pace car dip down into pit lane. The leader has control of the restart as long as they're in the Geico restart zone. So, Latham will have control of this start. As we see them behind the flag into the restart zone there. Barney a little late on the green flag call. They're off racing once again. Going into turn 1, we see Kenny dip down low. Outside lane once again. Didn't have the greatest start. 1, 2, 3 inside lane there. All Kuko E Motorsports.
They're starting off really well, and Kenny took that opportunity to drop to the bottom in a hurry. Nick Boyd, who started on the outside of row 1 on the restart, back to 5th, being pressured by Christian Proctor and Jorge Ledesma Jr. now.
Yeah, Proctor has been just out of frame of the top cars for those first 8 laps. Same here, he's hanging just on the outside of the top 5, flirting with it. Like I said, he's second in points right now. He's a very solid driver. Looking to maybe get the regular season championship tonight. Who knows?
That'd be really cool to see for Christian Proctor in the mid-tier. Misfits over there is Jorge Ledesma Jr. pressuring, but nowhere to go with Nick Boyd in the 5 right ahead of him.
Great racing throughout the field. We see side by side throughout almost the entirety of the field. Oh, 22 up into the wall. Oh, wrecking behind him. I don't know if there was any contact. Oh, 30's around the 03. 59, and Jim Thorndike's going to like to see that. That's going to work out in his favor as long as he can stay out of trouble as well. In fact, the 03 got caught up in that as well.
Certainly did. Let's go back and take a look and see if we can't see where it started here. Looked like Van Kirk was in the wall. Oh, and then Rafinha got
I think
loose
we saw
on him.
that snap that we Kenny had mentioned in the pre-race interview. Said after about a certain amount of laps, it gets snappy loose, and I think we saw a little bit of that snap. Right before that, I think we saw JD Van Kirk. He slides up and hits the wall there almost at the same time. What is that?
It's a 30 of Presley on the
30.
right behind the 22 of Van Kirk. Then all of a sudden, the 03 going along.
Yep, I think it just got loose on him.
Yep, that's exactly what it looks like, and just nowhere to go. Nearly 4 wide. It was 3 wide.
Yeah.
And Dylan Canova involved. Marty White.
Ooh, does he get... Oh, no. Marty almost makes it through unscathed.
He did. Jeremy Gill almost just a tap, and then the 30 going around.
Man, this
Send
track
him
is
into the wall.
spicy.
It is. 2 cautions already as we go back to live action and Drafty more pit stops.
Yeah, I'm assuming some of these guys for damage. Maybe now getting fuel. Let's see here. Let's take a look at what Nick Boyd's times. 14.8. He may have took some tires there. Maybe he smacked the wall, had a little bit of damage too. I have seen plenty of people give that wall a little smooch here already. 13 laps in, and the new damage model, or the latest damage model, I should say, is pretty finicky. Sometimes I disagree with how light you hit the wall and get damage, but
I would
it is
agree
what
with
it
you.
is.
Yeah, it is what it is, right? What are you going to do? Timothy Presley on his way out. He'll be able to continue. Nick Raffini still down pit road. Looks like taking tires now. Had some damage to get done there. Maybe a little. Canova still down pit road. Got to believe he'll try to make it back. Oh, well, never mind. Did not make it back on the speedway before the leaders came around. And update here, Drafty, on Dan Ames. He's in our chat here. All my settings were messed up, so I couldn't make the race. Bummer,
Oh, no.
Dan. Real bummer. So that, folks, would have made it 24 cars on this evening's grid. 23 with the 55 of Dan Ames checking in the Heartbreak Hotel early.
Yeah, unfortunate, buddy. The lights are off on the iRacing.com pace car. 14 laps in, 2 cautions already. Let's see if these guys can clean her up a little bit very early on. Yeah, I see. Like, I know these guys put it in practice, but these Gen 6, especially once you get in traffic, it handles so different. The dirty air definitely, it tightens up the car, or it throws air on weird parts of it. But anyway, pace cars down pit lane. Latham Joyner, certain P1, Raven on the outside. Inside gets a pretty good start. So does the outside of at least the 37 of Jake Raven. Didn't get much help from the 13 of Proctor.
I think just maybe that Raven was hoping to get the same kind of setup as his teammate Kuko hard off the wall. Anyway,
Yes,
I think Raven was trying to drop down there, didn't get so lucky. Jorge Ledesma Jr. pressured him early, and now he's got a battle with the 25 of Aikman Pollard.
They're side by side battling for that 3rd place. Looks like Kenny's running good still. He looked like hard contact, but they rub a little going through the corners. Able to hold on to it.
Yeah, that looked like massive contact for the 71 of Kuko, and he's fortunate right now to be able to continue. And Jorge Ledesma Jr.
Gosh.
Caution's out. Caution's out.
live.
That happening.
Get ready with that brake clean and stuff, guys. Your blower.
Holy moly.
Sure.
3rd caution already. Not that we didn't see what happened, but Drafty, walk us through it here.
What the previous lap too, I saw 25 kind of goes up high here, kind of pushes Ledesma off his line. Happened the same thing corner beforehand. I think Jorge's just trying to keep it off the wall here. Oh, he does hit the wall a little bit, sends him back down. Right into the 25, unfortunately. Is anyone else caught up into this?
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of watching for. I mean, the 13 of Proctor got so lucky. Raven sneaks by. So far, so good. And... Ooh, Nick Boyd barely.
Ooh. Close call.
And Kurt.
Everyone else gets through.
Tell you what, that's a tough situation to avoid as he not only bounces off the wall once, but then twice comes back down in front of the field. And good driving by the whole field there behind him to avoid all of that.
Yep.
Take a
It's
look.
unfortunate for Jorge. And, oh my gosh, sorry, I had the hiccup there. But yeah, unfortunate for Jorge there. Hopefully he can get that damage, get back out there, not go lap down, but we'll see.
Certainly. And 4 cars still down pit road. Nick Raffini, Aikman Pollard, who was involved there with Jorge Ledesma Jr. Ledesma Jr. already on his way out, so that's good to see. And Dylan Canova back down pit road again. Still ultimately, I'd assume, trying to get damage fixed from that very first incident, Drafty.
Yeah, I'd have to assume so. This is pretty hard contact. A lot of race left. Here we are, lap 18 now, our third caution. I mean, damn, if you can get in the race, you might get back on the lead lap. Who knows?
That's very true, yeah. I mean, the only...
going.
Yeah. 2 other cars legitimately not on the lead lap that are still on the speedway. Davis Shively has not returned nearly 13 minutes on pit road, and lights are out on the pace car, which means we're fixing to go back green here shortly.
Yes, sir. This time, at 71, gosh, I think I was saying the 11 this whole time, now that I think about it. I'm so used to Kenny being the 11, but the 71 at Kenny Kuko. Gonna be starting P2 this time.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if he does what he did that second to last restart, where he was out there and dropped down behind the leader very contently. Of course, he doesn't have a teammate on his inside this time. He does have one right behind him, though, in the 59 of Jim Thorndike, off to a good start here.
Joyner's his teammate.
Oh, I mean behind, in row 2, I should say, on the low side.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yep. 13 didn't get a good launch there either. 55 right on the tail. Good launch from Team Kuko.
Very good launch. That's actually the best jump we've seen from the outside line early in this race.
They are cruising there. Joyner's actually fallen way back.
He is. I mean, he's back to 6th, fighting for 6th with guys hot on his tail also.
Oh! 5 tries to... Woo. Wasn't quite clear. Got down there anyway. Luckily, no one got taken out with that one.
Yeah, that was a gutsy move there by the 5 of Nick Boyd, who now all of a sudden is dropping all the way back as well. The 24 of Dalton Moore finds the wall for the second corner in a row. Third corner now make it.
Look at some of these cars. We get the right angle. You can see just how much they're sliding into these corners. Like, they are definitely cruising around here. High speeds, multiple lanes of racing here. Draft seems to be a big factor.
100%. Now, Latham Joyner working his way back on the top side. Not sure if he just missed a shift during the restart, but now he's beside the 13 of Christian Proctor, right on the back bumper of the 71 of Kuko.
He's been making that high line work for him there. He's able to carry a good amount of speed. He now gets stuck behind a couple teammates in front of him there.
Big news here, Drafty. The 59 of Jim Thorndike just led that last lap, and when you're trying to squeeze into the playoffs in the last race outside the cut line, every point means just a little bit more.
Yep. Get those as many bonus points as you can.
Now he'll give the lead back to teammate Kenny Kuko as Latham Joyner now finds himself on the low line on the inside of Jacob Wilson.
Wilson making his way up to the top here tonight. Followed closely behind by the 14 of Mr. Higgs.
Rob Higgs Jr. having himself a good run. He's your biggest mover right now, folks. He's up to 6th, working on Jacob Wilson for the 5 spot, potentially, and up 17 spots, Drafty. He's absolutely, oh no! I jinxed it.
Ooh, commentator's curse. Oh, damn. Jim gets caught up in that a little bit. He's going to fall back quite a few positions to 12th place now. Luckily, everyone keeps it going straight.
Trying to find Thorndike. There he is. Let's see. All the way back to the end of that first group here. Tough break for Jim Thorndike there.
Luckily, a lot of race left to go. See the 5, Nick Boyd, making his way to the inside of the 13, and Christian Proctor trying to take away that 3rd spot, and then some.
Nick Boyd is on 12-lap fresher tires, we would assume, than the rest of the top 6, as he pit on lap 12 and had nearly a 15-second pit stop.
Unless he missed his box or something, could be accounting for that. I feel like a full tire change would be about, man, closer to 30, 50, like 30 seconds, I'd think. Looking at other people's times.
Yeah, interesting to see what might have happened there. Is Christian Proctor now on the inside of the 5 of Boyd. And man, Drafty, by the end of this thing, I think every single car in the field will have no paint on that right side of their car.
Yeah, actually, I just heard they made an announcement over the grandstands. They recommended that people closest to the fence put on respirators as to not breathe in the wall dust that is being created here tonight.
There's going to be a lot of it, that's for sure. They're nearly 3 wide, but the 24 of Dalton Moore thinks better of it. But Rob Higgs says, I'll be your Huckleberry, and he goes right up the middle, Drafty.
There's definitely the space to do it here, but you gotta keep it. We see, luckily he was able to slot up in front of the 13 there, but he was going up the track. It looks like they're getting solid entries, but by the time you get to the middle of the corner, it's starting to push up the track.
It's good analyzation there. Drafty and Rob Higgs Jr. just temporarily has a little bit of a breather. No one beside him, and believe it or not, folks, they're singled out through the top 5. Let's do a little check throughout the field here. J.D. Vankirk, Drafty, on his way back after early trouble.
Making his way back up. J.D. is a good racer, good solid racer. Been with us for a long time, ever since Lucky Dog days as well.
Miss Lucky Dog at times.
We see the 5 and Nick Boyd making a move on Kenny there. Up front. Takes the lead away.
Good spot there.
Kenny with the crossover perhaps. Looking to the inside now as they go through the tri-oval. Kenny's got the advantage coming out of the tri-oval and into turn 1.
We've
5 look back to the inside. He does.
We've really seen that bottom line develop significantly, and we're only 32 laps in, with this easily being our longest green flag run. At first, it was definitely the top line. People were running all over from the top side. Now it's kind of developed where that lower line is definitely where you want to be, it seems.
Definitely. These past few laps feel like I'm watching a dirt race. One car goes low, slides up high. The next corner, the P2 goes down low, slides up high, rinse and repeat.
You're absolutely right. And Latham Joyner looking to throw his name into the hat, is now he pushes teammate Kenny Kuko to the front, and he'll take over second place over Nick Boyd. Good move.
Says, I had enough of watching this. I'm going to get my boss out in front, give him a little breathing room. We see the field spreading out now, single file in the rear, 4th through, gosh, 12 at least.
It's top 3. You've kind of broken off from the rest of the pack, and everything is cooled down for the most part as they're all the way single file. The M&M's machine 18 right here. Patrick Gentner is the 11th place car. Then you go back here to the 44, Jorge Ledesma Jr., and quite a gap further back to them. And here's Jim Thorndike trying to make his way all the way back, currently sitting 13th, Drafty.
Yeah, he's really at no man's land right there. No one in front of him to get any draft, and the cars behind are also too far away to help him out right now. We'll see a lot of race for a lap, 36 out of 100. Good. Ooh, got squeezed there a little bit. Luckily, keep it going. No harm, no foul. Our pole sitter, 37, currently running 10th place right now.
Might have been an early issue there with that 37 of Jake Raven, and he brought it or fell back trying to save tires or figure out how the track was going to develop. But no doubt, Drafty, he will be in a position for a top 5 by the end of this thing, I believe.
As long as he stays out of trouble. Seeing the racing kind of mellow out here now. Tires are wearing down. Leaders are extending their gap here from the second pack. JD Vankirk, though, keep plucking the car off here at a time, one at a time.
JD Vankirk up to 6th now.
Cruising.
You were just mentioning Rob Higgs Jr. and Jake Raven here. Rob Higgs stuck on that outside, losing positions like he's got a parachute on the back.
Yeah, it seems like that outside line has fallen off completely. Everyone's going single file now.
Rob Higgs Jr. finally an opportunity to get in line and hopefully hold it on that low side. Is now, you're exactly right. Everybody, for the most part, single file. Patrick Gentner looking to the inside of the 30 of Presley, who seems to be really fighting that car. He's been loose a couple times off exit the last couple laps, and then he just smacked the wall like we've seen so many other drivers do already this evening.
Yep, the car's probably starting to get a little tight, harder to get around, get her to move around the corner. Try to compensate with a little more throttle, which could either A, spin you out, or B, send you up into the wall on corner exit if you're not careful.
Yeah, we've done that a few times ourselves, I'd say. As now we take a look at the 51 of Jacob Wilson making a move on Christian Proctor, who got pushed outside there. And Drafty Proctor might be in a situation where he's in danger of losing 3 or 4 here, as Van Kirk and Raven are ready to pounce.
Right on his tail. Luckily, he's able to fend him off for now. Now the 22 of Van Kirk looking under the 51 of Wilson. Can't carry the speed through to get it done.
I think Van Kirk might have just caught the apron there, Drafty, which killed a ton of his momentum and fell back to the 37.
That would definitely explain it. Now the 37's looking to the inside. Got a lap car hanging out up high. They're able to get around him quite nicely without any issue.
You didn't want to jinx it there.
I had to wait until they all got past. I had to wait till they all get past. I had to extend that vowel a bit.
Yeah, one thing I wanted to mention here, while we have kind of a lull in the action, if you will, and we check on your leaders, these guys that pit after that first caution, Drafty, they probably are getting in a situation now where that pit doesn't mean anything, right? Because everyone else is still out here rolling, and so the early strategy possibly doesn't pay off, and obviously costs them a lot of track position too.
Yeah, I mean, still a lot to go yet. We'll have to see if we can get a green flag pit cycle. That'll really be any fuel to the fire for that strategy. Anyway, if we get a caution where everyone then just pits on the same cycle, completely eliminates any early pit strategy.
It's true, and I mean, when we say early pit strategy, folks, if you just joined us, it was very early. Lap 6 is when we first saw some guys make their way down pit road for what Drafty believes was fuel only, and I'd have to agree with him. Jacob Wilson's still working on the 13, and Christian Proctor here for the 4 spot.
Taking a look at the standings here, looks like Joyner's still up front, but Kuko falls back to 3rd, and Nick Boyd taking away 2nd. They're battling it out here. Decided to quit running in a straight line and just following each other around. We'll have to see if that maybe allows the cars behind to catch up a little bit.
Yeah, good call out there. I turned my attention away from him for half a second, and it gets crazy because this racing mid-pack, as it has been all season, is absolutely phenomenal right now, as we got 6 cars all vying for that 4th position.
They're fighting hard. I mean, at this point, they got to, they're, gosh, what are they, it's about 3 seconds between 3rd and 4th position. So, I mean, that 4th position is almost like a whole new little P1 for this group. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Leader of the 2nd group it is, basically.
Yeah.
And now they go all single file. Let's go check out this as Nick Boyd got back around Kenny Kuko, and it appears to be slightly more convincing this time than it was the last time, where they were still back and forth side by side.
Say that now. Look at Kenny gets a killer run on him here coming into turns 1 and 2.
Well, he made
Never
me a liar in
count
a hurry.
Kenny Kuko out.
That's right. You never can. Great battling here for the 2nd spot by these 2 guys, as well as the great battle going on for 4th and through basically 8th behind them, a little bit further back. But Drafty, you just mentioned it. They might be going back and forth, but this group here being side by side and also going back and forth, still managing to cost them time as opposed to making up time on those 3 leaders.
Yeah. I mean, here too, I'm not super familiar with this track, so I can't say, but I think even if they all were trying to work together, there might be too big of a gap right now for them to even catch them. I know me personally, I'd be hoping for a caution and a restack and to not lose those leaders again, but we'll see what happens. The racing's been super clean. It's a bit more spread out now, so we'll have to see.
Yeah, and if you're one of these guys, most of these guys, in fact, there's no reason halfway through, as we just pass halfway, in fact, that you have to push, right? Because most of these guys already comfortably in the playoff chase after this evening. One guy that could probably move up a little bit or solidify his standings a little more comfortably is the 22 of J.D. Van Kirk right here battling with Jorge Ledesma Jr.
That is true. I mean, the chase next week starts the chase, and man, you just want to start that as high as you can. Give yourself the best possible chance that you can. You know, we got season payouts for the top 3, or did we do top 4 this season? I can't remember. Top 3 for sure. Plus, you know, a lot of these drivers too out here, they're racing for team points. We got a team championship here, top tier racing too. Right now the revved up guys are leading that. Kuko in 2nd, and Royalty in 3rd. So guys are racing for those points as well.
Absolutely. And the last thing you want to do if you're, anywhere on the speedway, but for sure in that top 10 right now, you don't want to make a crazy move and end up wrecking yourself and putting yourself in a bad situation. And now we have, Drafty, our first 2 green flag pit stops. Kenny Kuko is in, as well as the 19 of Kelly Akron.
Interesting. Coco comes. Okay, Joyner's coming in now. Looks like I see him pit. 37. That looks like might have been a late pit entry. We'll have to see if he gets black flagged for that.
We'll have to see if he got in the cone. Kelly Akron on his way out after a good pit stop, it would appear, and that gives your lead to Nick Boyd for now, and he's probably at this moment relieved just to have a couple laps of breathing room, a little while to catch his breath before being back in the pressure cooker, I would say.
Right. I do see now Jacob Wilson, Christian Proctor coming into pit as well.
A lot of the top 10 starting their green flag pit stops, and after kind of a rough start, this has been a really nice run. No one in this second group, though, Drafty, has made their way in just yet for a second time. A couple of them were in that first pit stop or even second caution pit stop.
So yeah, I'm listening into comms. Oh, the 30 misses the pit entry there. He'll have to go around again. But listening to the comms I have up as well. A lot of people calling out pits this time. A few drivers coming in now. A few drivers saying they're going to come in a lap or two. We will definitely see the whole field go through their cycle here the next few laps.
Jim Thorndike, Zach White in the 77. That now puts J.D. Van Kirk up to second. Jorge Ledesma Jr. in third. Rob Higgs Jr. in fourth. And Shane Wheeldon into fifth right now. Started 16th. Biggest mover, Drafty, still this guy, Rob Higgs Jr. He's up 18 as of right now.
Yeah, having a killer race. Currently rocking fourth position. Solid race. Solid racer for the most part as well.
Latham Joyner.
Misfits.
Yeah, mid-tier misfits. Representing well those mid-tier misfits. Latham Joyner just got past Patrick Gentner as he works his way up through the field now. And with the fresh tires, he pit on lap 53. Presley got into his pit box, or on the pit road anyway, the second time around.
Yeah, it's like most of the drivers, maybe about a third of the field has not pit through this cycle yet. I'd say the top 9 have not pit in this cycle yet.
That's right,
Rob
Drafty.
Higgs actually has not pit since lap 6. He was one of those people that pit first after that first caution.
And Marty White, not sure. He was down on the apron a long time before pit road. Wonder if he had an incident where he missed it, kind of like Presley did, but it would appear like White will be in this time. Drafty, he was your 9th place sitter. That's why I brought him up there.
Okay.
Aikman Pollard is in now. Nick Boyd still out there. Rob Higgs Jr., yeah, he's still hanging in. Lap 6, man, that's impressive. He's milking it for everything this 14 car's got.
See the Ford Jeremy Gill down pit lane now.
J.D. Van Kirk still second to this guy for the time being until the rest of them pit. Oh, Rob Higgs Jr. right now down pit road.
There he goes. Just about a handful of cars, about 4 or 5 cars have not pit yet. Just heard over comms though, our leader gonna be pitting.
Top 5, you're exactly right. As Nick Boyd now see if Van Kirk decides to lead a lap here, and he does. That'll put Jorge Ledesma Jr. in the 2 spot for now, not far behind Van Kirk, and Shane Wheeldon staying out right now in 3rd. Raffini will go by Boyd, and now only the top 4 yet to pit, Drafty.
I think Van Kirk staying out to get a couple bonus points here, leading the lap, and see him in shortly, along with the rest of these guys.
I mean, I mentioned it a little bit earlier. We're going into the chase here. You got to rack up a point any way you possibly can, right?
Yep, that's exactly it.
There's Shane Wheeldon down pit road now, leaving the top 3 to be the only cars to make their way down pit road, under green flag conditions anyway. You know, someone to watch, Drafty? Patrick Gentner. He had a really nice qualifying, had some sort of issue there early. We're not quite sure what happened, but he pit on lap 42. He's up into the top 5 right now, right behind Latham Joyner. Well, not right behind, but behind Latham Joyner, who's sitting in 4th.
Right. Yeah, feel pretty spread out now after this pit cycle here. So you see Ledesma, our new leader. He will lead this time by. Van Kirk now down pit road.
Jorge Ledesma Jr., what a phenomenal season with Revved Up Racing this season. Revved Up Racing right now on track to get all 4 drivers into the playoffs. That's unreal.
Yeah, they've been rushing it this season. All them guys, super good drivers. Tough competition for sure.
Let's talk about another one of them. That's the 03 of Nick Raffini, who had a pretty good starting position. Oh no, is now he potentially costs himself big time, and that's what I was just going to say, is when he pits, where is he going to cycle out? I don't blame him for taking the gamble on possibly catching a caution there, but now we'll have to see what that pit time looks like, Drafty.
Yeah, I am sure. Oh, what happened there?
Let's take a look at it as they finish green flag pit
stop.
stops.
Missed the pit entry. I am showing a black flag for Nick Raffini.
Looks fine right here. Yep. You called it. Just completely missed it and decided to lock it up instead of get back going. Maybe ran it too dry to the point he didn't have enough fuel for another lap.
Yeah, unfortunate there. I think I killed him there was locking it up instead of letting the car turn a bit, but unfortunate for him, that's going to cost him some time. For sure.
Certainly is. Him and Nick Raffini, Revved Up Racing guys. That's the 3rd time tonight I've already put the old broadcaster's curse on somebody. That's interesting. I blame you.
I don't blame me, huh?
This is the first race all season you've been with me, so I'm gonna say that. But Latham Joyner now back in the lead, followed by Kenny Kuko. Christian Proctor in 3rd. He must have had a really nice pit stop because he was back in that 2nd group, finds himself not far behind. And then Patrick Gentner in 4th, rounding out your top 5. Is that number 5 of Nick Boyd, who, wait a minute, Patrick Gentner down pit road again here.
I believe he... Did he come down pit already?
Yeah, I thought I saw you pit on lap 42. Interesting.
Maybe he got a penalty or something.
Well, very interesting as Latham Joyner sets to bring us to lap 70, folks. And tale of two tales here, Drafty. The first 16 to 20 laps of the race completely different than the last 50.
Yeah, no, everyone's all spread out here now. We do have a little bit of action. Looks like between Timothy Presley and Kelly Akron.
Go there now.
Oh, and JD Van Kirk up in this mix as well.
It's a 3-car race for the 7th spot right now.
Kelly Akron, actually our biggest mover right now, up 15 positions from where he started.
Having himself a good race. Now J.D. Van Kirk, he had pit 12 laps later than Akron, so he'll get that move done and move into the 8th spot. Update on Nick Raffini and Jorge Ledesma Jr. They came out of pit road 18th and 19th. Not the way they probably wanted to set themselves up to finish this regular season, I wouldn't imagine.
Yeah, I wouldn't imagine so. I'm looking at the timing tower. I also see Dylan Canova out. Marty White out as well.
Oh, yeah, good catch. I did not see that. Maybe just Canova was wrapped up in that early incident. Maybe just couldn't get it going. But, I mean, he did pit on lap 64, so maybe he just figured he'd throw in the towel. Didn't need any more points for the evening or for the season. Rob Hicks Jr. looking to the inside of Aikman Pollard. This is going to be a battle just outside the top 10. 10th place right now sits right in front of him. That's the 83 Shane Wheeldon. Good battle here.
Got a little action between second and third right now.
Oh, yes. Good
Proctor
reminder.
and Boyd side by side. Proctor having himself a very good race. So is Nick Boyd. Look, not far behind. 71 and Kenny Cucko.
Yeah, Boyd actually small advantage potentially here as he pit on lap 61. Kuko on 52, Proctor on 54. That could be all it takes to really have more speed and be able to get that pass done a little bit easily, more easily, I should say.
Well, let's see if Nick Boyd can reel in Joyner too as well. About 25 laps to go the next time by.
We'll have to watch that timing tower. He is gaining on Joyner, but he was running that high line, Drafty. Do you think here that high line will eat the tires more than the low line, or what are your thoughts on that based off what we've seen in these first 75?
And at this point, I really don't know. Because it's getting cooler, the track's getting cooler. They're not all grouped together. It could be a very opening track.
It definitely could for sure, as now Shane Wheeldon makes a move on. Oh, Kelly Akron and Rob Higgs Jr. bump, but luckily it's on a straightaway and they all keep it going. Shane Wheeldon will take over the 9th spot. Rob Higgs Jr. goes to 10th. Aikman Pollard also got around Akron. Not sure if the 19 of Akron has some damage. It doesn't appear so. We were just talking about how he's had such a great run this evening. Still having a good run. He's up 11 on the night as he sits in 12th. And a very large gap to this guy, Jeremy Gill, who was involved in early trouble. But nice run for that 19, regardless if he has issues right now or not. Shane Wheeldon finds himself up 7. Rob Higgs Jr. back to the point as far as your biggest mover on the evening. He's up 12, and now we have a battle for the lead as Nick Boyd made quick work of the gap in between him and Joyner, and they're side by side, Goodyear to Goodyear off exit. They bumped just slightly out of 4. Latham Joyner squeezing Boyd just a little bit. Nick Boyd gonna get the pass done. It would appear not quite yet. Latham Joyner, good run off exit of number 2. He'll hold on to the lead for now. Nick Boyd back to the top side where he had a little bit better of a run, but he's also got to consider being able to save tires here because Christian Proctor is not far behind him. I know he'd love to catch these guys when they're battling hard and take over that 2 spot. Uh-oh, Jim Thorndike down pit road. That could be the end of hopes for his playoffs. He had everything working for him the way he needed it with Nick Ruffini back in 19th, but that's not going to do much good for Jim Thorndike, as now the 5 of Nick Boyd right up on the back bumper of the 3, and here comes the caution now.
We're doing that brake clean stuff, guys. Your blower, they're going to drop down some oil dry here, I'm sure.
Oh my goodness. Latham Joyner had it, and if Thorndike would have just waited 1 lap. See here on the... Looks like... Oh, Rob Higgs Jr. and Shane Wielden get into it. Let's see if Wielden was able to keep it out of the wall. It looks like he was, so good job there.
Almost look like a little bit of net code.
Let's take another look at it here. Welcome back, sir, and we'll kind of slow it down as we get closer. Good right here.
Well, no, they definitely touched.
Yeah, that's definitely contact, and around goes the 83.
Unfortunate. Oh, dang.
Good news, though, for him is that he didn't hit anything, and he was able to stay on the lead lap, as we see the leaders now making
Coming
their
in
way
for
down pit road.
freshies.
Yeah, I mean, why not, right?
Yeah.
19 to go. Good time to do it.
See some cars staying out, probably getting laps back.
Yeah, one of those guys was Nick Ruffini, as well as Jorge Ledesma Jr., Jacob Wilson, Jake Raven staying out,
Oh, okay.
Gentner.
This guy's on lead lap.
You know who this might benefit the most? This guy right here, the 18, Gentner. We were so confused as why he pit. Well, no, he wasn't on the lead lap. I apologize. Disregard.
It's all right.
But this guy here, Jim Thorndike, I think you had stepped away, Drafty. He pit on lap 79, one before the caution. I was just talking about how well his playoff hopes were going with where he was running in comparison to the 03 of Nick Ruffini. Then he brought it down pit road, and sure enough, caution.
Oh, yeah.
1 lap too late, because obviously if Thorndike would have been able to pit on the lead lap with the leaders, would have been in a lot better position there. But you win some, you lose some, and Latham Joyner beat everyone off pit road. And Christian Proctor follows him. Happened to Nick Boyd. He must have had problems on pit road. 22 seconds in the pit stop, and he rolls off 10th now.
Man. Big loss of positions on that pit.
Marty, it is Drafty in the booth, yes. Shouldn't you be driving the race car? Oh, he's out. What the heck?
Yeah, he's out. I think he was involved in one of those early cautions. I know that. I don't know if he ever recovered from it.
It's fair. Couple guys calling it early tonight, but quick shout out to this guy here in the 85. He did not call it. Good to see him back out there. He never gave up, and never know what could happen. Getting ready to go back green here for the final 17, hopefully.
Love to see a lot of cars not up there right now. Tangled up. A few cars just out
Green flag,
wrecked
green
tonight.
flag.
Inside gets a good launch. Bunch of people got a black flag on that restart.
Black flag for not being lined up correctly, or
It was someone coming out of pit lane.
interesting. All right, Kenny Kuko takes over the lead for now over Latham Joyner, his teammate, who bumps him coming down the front stretch. Good battle right here as well. Christian Proctor on the outside of Aikman Pollard, but all these guys got freshies drafty, as you mentioned, so that top side could work here late.
It definitely could.
Big bounce back night for the 30 of Timothy Presley. We've seen him up against the wall as much as we've seen him on the low side, I feel like, but he's running up in 6th place right now. Very impressive drive for him, as now Proctor switched roles with the, oh, I'm sorry, that's the other Tennessee speed guy. It threw me all off.
They're side by side duking it out. Kenny out in the lead now, 13 laps to go. That's exactly what Kenny needs though, to really excel him above that cut line. Get him some more points up into, run into that championship run here if he can bring it home.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, one way you guarantee yourself to make it if you're right there on that cut line is just win the damn thing, right?
Yeah.
And he's doing a good job of it right now. Nick Boyd trying to make his way up back through the field as he had a rough pit stop. He's up to 6th now, and all single file. And welcome in Rick Higgs. Let's check with Rob Higgs Jr. as he is right behind the 22 of J.D. Van Kirk, having himself a good run right now. He's in 8th. He's up 14 spots tonight, Rick. He is your biggest mover right now. Back up front here. Got to keep an eye on everything.
Nick. Side by side. I was trying. Sorry for the. I was trying to figure out which one of them it was.
I know. Yeah, it's hard.
Oh my gosh. So Nick and Moore were side by side there.
You know, I got to remember that Dalton Moore has the orange front. Aikman Pollard has the black front.
Right.
I say that. I'm not going to remember it, you know. What are you going to do?
Definitely making himself known to the 13 there, right on his bumper through the tri-oval. Oh. Big move down there to the inside.
Oh, yeah. Dalton Moore, really nice move. Not able to hold it, though. Nick Boyd, Christian Proctor pull away from him there a little bit more in the middle, it would seem.
Looking to hold on to his spot up here in 6th place. Pollard and Higgs right behind him there. Ooh, Higgs blinking.
Uh-oh, yeah, long blink. Not good to have that right down the stretch. Oh! Oh no!
Latham Joyner in the wall. No caution. 8 laps to go. Oh no, he's not going to be happy about that. I don't know what happened there.
Me either. I'm not sure, and nothing pops up on my screen. Maybe we can make a note of it. Was that 92? Lap 92. We'll try to go back and look at it in the post-race show before we get these guys for post-race interviews. Shane Wheeldon on the move, now up 10, battling with Rob Higgs Jr. for the 6th spot. Found himself on the outside. We'll see. He can make moves. Doesn't appear so. He's going the wrong direction. Kenny Kuko continues to lead. Nick Boyd now has 2nd position.
Just got word there was a little contact. It looked like between the 3 and the 13 there. A bit of a racing deal, and that's kind of what happened. 3 went around. Oh, we see now the 25 getting loose in the Aikman Pollard.
What a save, though, to basically drift around the whole corner and save it. That was awesome driving there by Pollard.
Yeah, that was. Holy cow.
Now his teammate Dalton Moore locked in a battle with J.D. Van Kirk. This is for the third spot. A lot of guys tonight, Drafty, having really amazing runs.
Yeah, there's been good runs. There's been a good battle up front for the most part. Good battle in midfield. Everyone's been racing pretty darn clean here as we got 5 laps to go. This one's winding down.
Yep, 5 laps to go. It's coming down in a hurry. The way it started, I would not expect by 9:30 Eastern we were going to be counting down to the finish of this one.
Yeah, no, hey, they cleaned it up, got it going again. I think everyone figured out the track. I do think it helped, the transition. The nighttime cooled off the track and gave them a little bit more grip.
That's exactly right. Rob Higgs Jr., Christian Proctor battling hard. I know Rob Higgs. Oh no, as we have an incident in the back. Might bring out the caution. Of course, it might not.
Looks like everyone keeps going.
That was Timothy Presley, Shane Wheeldon involved the second time this evening. Unfortunate for Wheeldon, that puts him back to 13th now. Coming down the stretch as Kenny Kuko in the 71 continues to lead, being chased down by the 5 of Nick Boyd. We're going to keep it right here as it's definitely the closest race on the speedway with 2 to go, Drafty.
Yeah, it looks like he's gaining a little bit. We'll see if he has enough for him here. Two laps to go. He's hot on the tail. See if he can make. He's taking the high approach here.
Definitely. Oh, he smacks the wall. It's not going to help. Of course, it didn't seem like it.
There we go. 1 lap to go.
It seemed like it killed his momentum that much.
Does put him further back here. If he's got anything, it's got to be now. But I think now the gap's just too big.
Drafty, I think you're right, as Kenny Kuko comes off 4 and crosses the finish line with his first win of the season, and he does it in the last one of the regular season. Couldn't be more clutch than Kenny Kuko tonight.
Well done. Awesome drive. I said never count out Kenny Kuko, man.
You called it, man. You absolutely called it, and it's so cool. We talked to him in the pre-race show, and I mean, you said, yeah, never count him out. I said he seems calm, cool, collected, and confident, and he was all of those things. And 71 of Kenny Kuko with his first win of the season tonight. We're going to talk to him here shortly as we see him burn it down. Let's bring you your race results here. Drafty, if you want to walk us through. There they are.
All right, you see him burning it down right now. 71 at Kenny Kuko takes home the win here at Kansas Motor Speedway. Nick Boyd coming in closely behind in second. Dalton Moore finishing third. J.D. Van Kirk finishing fourth, rounding out your top 5. Christian Proctor, Aikman Pollard in sixth, and Kelly Akron coming in seventh. Eighth will be Rob Higgs, and ninth, Jim Thorndike. And rounding out your top 10, Timothy Presley. Josh?
Jeremy Gill has a good bounce back race and finishes in 11th. Patrick Gentner finishes 12th. Shane Wheeldon, after very late contact there with the 30, brings home 13th. Jacob Wilson brings home 14th. Jake Raven finishes in 15th. Zach White in 16th. Jorge Ledesma Jr. in 17th. Nick Raffini brings home 18th. To round out your field, Latham Joyner Tough finish to the race for him. He finishes 19th. Robbie Minor brings home 20th. Davis Shively hung out and gave it everything he had. After early contact, he finishes 21st. Dylan Canova finishes 22nd. Marty White finishes 23rd. And Dan Ames did not make the start tonight, but he's listed as 24th. Drafty, really, really nice, exciting race after a slew of early cautions. And Nick Boyd almost chased down Kenny Kuko to get his first win of the season on that part-time schedule.
Yeah, hate to see it, smack the wall there coming out of 4, killed his momentum. I think that would have happened, it would have been a lot closer of a finish there, would have made Kenny have to work a bit harder.
Absolutely. I'm proud to see Kenny get a win. Dalton Moore, good finish tonight as he'll join us hopefully in the interview room. And then J.D. Van Kirk, probably his best finish of the season. Strong way to close it out for him with that 4th. J.D.'s ready for the playoffs, huh, Drafty?
Oh, yeah. I know he's going to be excited about that. Great finish for him tonight. He's had a bit of a few rough races, so it's good to see him up there. Almost a podium, but, 4th is still pretty damn good.
Absolutely, man, for sure. I'd take top 5 any night of the week. Let's get with our 3rd place finisher. That's the 24 of Dalton Moore. Dalton, congrats on 3rd place, man. First podium of the short season for you and Aikman Pollard. But tell us how you were feeling about coming into tonight and then ultimately how things played out later on.
Man, I felt really good. I ran some practice laps yesterday, and it felt really good. I've always enjoyed Kansas, just the multiple lanes you can run. But I was really looking forward to it. It was a little different in the race than it was in practice, so I kind of had to adjust to that. But other than that, man, it was a blast.
Yeah, absolutely. Really good run for both of you Tennessee Speed guys this evening, 3rd and 6th, so definitely not too shabby. It's been kind of an up and down few races with you. We can't say a season, right, because you just joined a mere 3 races ago. But what's your feeling so far on how it's been going for you and how it's going to go down the stretch? Even though you're not competing for that championship, do you feel like you got a win in that 24?
Man, it's going to be tough. There's some good guys in here. The top goal is to not mess up anybody running for the championship. That's the last thing I want to do is take somebody out of an opportunity of winning it. But man, it's good. This is a good group of guys here. Everybody tries to race as clean as they can. I know it's a little tough sometimes, but hopefully we can slip a win out of here. It'll be tough though. It's a good group of guys here.
Yeah, for sure. And if you can, just enlighten us just a little bit on what we saw this evening. Of course, very early, 3 cautions, almost back to back to back. Seemed like that was kind of the road we were going down for tonight. Then all of a sudden, we go off and have a long 50-lap run nearly. How did the track develop over time once you guys finally got to experience a long green flag run?
Man, it was at the beginning I thought it was going to be a wreck fest, so to say. But that long green run, the tire wear came more into play than I knew it would be pretty bad, but if you didn't take care of them at the beginning, you could really tell. And I short pitted that run, and I was about 2 laps short on fuel, so that caution at the end really kind of saved me. But overall, it was fun having to save a little tire at the beginning of a run and then try to get as much as you could at the end.
Right on, man. Well, we'll let you go celebrate this podium, but before we let you go, anyone you'd like to thank or shout out this evening?
Yeah, man, I'd like to thank my teammate Aikman, Tennessee Speed. It's a blast working with him. Marsh, Carson, Turtle, all the guys we run with all the time. They put some pressure on us to run good, and most of the time they beat us. So got to thank all them and just appreciate Kenny and everybody running the league. It's been really fun.
Right on, man. Well, thanks for joining us. Good job tonight. We'll see you back out here next week. Ooh, maybe he left already. But anyway, that was your third place finisher, the 24 of Dalton Moore. And now we're going to speak to the second place finisher. That's the 5 of Nick Boyd. Nick, welcome in, man. Thanks for joining us. Good run tonight. Overall, I mean, easily best race of the short part-time season for you in that 5 car. How you feeling?
I felt good. The setup was a little tighter than it was all week, so I was happy with it, and the top came in really nice at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. And we saw you bumping doors with Latham Joyner. That was an extremely good battle for, at that time, what was the lead. Very competitive. Kind of mixed reviews for you early in your top-tier racing career, if you will. Found some issues and then ultimately not been able to make it up. But tonight, you put it all together. You nearly had him for the lead there at the end. Tell us what was going through your mind after that last caution and coming down the stretch with about 3 to 4 to go.
Yeah, that last caution, Latham got me going on pit road, and it's got me an EOL for speeding on pit road. So put me behind the 8 ball to start with, and pretty much just went to the top and tried to stay up there as long as I could until I got back to the front. And glad I practiced up there all week.
Yeah, it was a heck of a run. We were wondering up here in the booth what exactly happened to the 5 car, because we noticed it was a little bit longer pit stop and you were starting 10th, but congrats to you. That's awesome. Before we let you go, Nick, anyone you'd like to thank or shout out tonight?
I got to thank the wife and kids for everything they do, and maybe I won't wreck Shane one of these weeks and he can get a win here.
And you guys are buddies, of course, so.
Oh, yeah, I've known Shane for years, so yeah. Great league, having fun. See you guys next week.
Yeah, for sure. And then also, Nick, you get Royalty Black, their first podium of the season. That's the part-time schedule, guys. So congrats to that, to you guys and yourself. We'll let you go celebrate this one, and we'll see you back out here next week.
All right. Thank you. We'll see you later.
Yep.
Bye.
Once again, that was the 5 car of Nick Boyd, who brought home second place tonight. But now, the man of the hour, who we've already talked to once, the 71 of Kenny Kuko. Kenny, man, so much foreshadowing happened. We talked to you, obviously, pre-race show. I said, maybe we'll be talking to you after the race. After that, I mentioned how confident, calm, cool, and collected you seemed. And your boy Drafty Beef said, you know what, you can never count out Kenny Kuko. And you proved both of us right tonight. You bring home your first win of the season. Tell us how it feels and how the car was feeling.
Oh, dude, it feels great. Pretty pumped about it. I couldn't have picked a better time as I'm being on the cut line. So locked myself in. Definitely was scoring almost max points other than leading the most laps. But I'm pumped. It's been a long time. Had 1 win season 1, season 2. Struggle bus. This season, struggle bus. But finally ran how I know I could run. Just haven't been putting them all together. But this one's pretty sweet. I'm pretty pumped about this one.
As you should be, man. We talked a few weeks ago, and you had mentioned why you changed the number from the 11 to the 71. At that moment, that was the first time since I've known you, which has been a couple years in multiple different leagues, that I felt, wow, Kenny has lost a little bit of confidence in himself. We talked a little bit about how you ran season 1, then season 2, like you just mentioned, ultimately swaying the number change. And now the last few weeks, you've got your swagger back. Ultimately tonight, I mean, this has to solidify it. The old Kenny Kuko is back. You get the win here at Kansas.
I really hope so, because coming from Lucky Dog, where most of us came from, like I was getting 5 wins a season, and now here we are, season 3, just about over, and I'm on 2 wins. So it's been the confidence definitely went down quite a bit in those last 8 months, really. Then I was like, a little superstitious, just playing sports and stuff my whole life. I was like, you know what? Let's maybe this number 11's got some bad juju, and so I switched back to a number that my grandma raced back in the day. So it's means a lot to me. So I was like, you know what? Let's get back to the old family number. And so far, it's it's working out.
Yeah, I'd say so. And obviously, it doesn't need to be said, but we talked to you in the pre-race show about being right on that cut line. And I mentioned at one point to Drafty that the way to solidify yourself getting a spot is to go out and win the thing, and you did just that. So, Kenny, before we let you go, anyone you'd like to thank or shout out tonight? Again.
Yeah, I gotta shout out to Trisha's Learning Center for being our title sponsor. They've done a lot for this league, and then obviously all our contingency sponsors. Without all those guys, Check Six, Royalty, there's just a bunch of people that help put this all together and keep it running and have the prize pots that we do. So just shout out to everybody. And then finally Royalty Network for putting on a good show for us, and excited to get this chase going and see if we can turn up the heat now that we're going to have a reset with the top 12.
Heck yeah, man. It's going to be exciting. I know we're all looking forward to it. And thank you for joining us here in the booth. And for the first time this season, Kenny, go pop the champagne in Victory Lane and enjoy this win.
Oh, yeah. There's some Dr. Peppers in the fridge that are about to get cracked open for sure.
All right. We'll take that too. Once again, folks, that was your winner, the number 71 of Kenny Kuko. Man, really cool to see Kenny pull off a win tonight, Drafty. I know close friend of yours, admin in the league, and you got to be feeling pretty good about him pulling it off also.
Oh, heck yeah, man. I was so excited to come do this broadcast with you this evening, and then for Kenny to get a win. It's awesome. It's been a long time coming for him. He's such a good driver, such a good dude. And none of this would be possible without him. He's so helpful. So is JD, making this all run week in, week out.
Yeah, 100%, man, 100%. It's a ton of work, and I don't think I truly understood it or appreciated it necessarily until you joined us here, Royalty Motorsports, Royalty Racing Network. Then I started getting more of an inside look at what you guys all deal with and do on a week-to-week or even day-to-day basis, and very impressive. So shout out to you, Kenny Kuko, and JD Van Kirk, 3 admins here of Trisha's Learning Center. But we're going to go ahead and shut it down. We'll keep the post-race show pretty short, I'm trying to say. And we'll be back on Royalty Racing Network this Saturday with the NOMA Cup Series, back with F-Bomb in the house. And then Drafty Beef will be back Tuesday night with the Top Tier Racing. And then we have a new series for the SCSRA that we're taking on, the ARCA Series. Still some things to work out there, but we'll be here. 2 shows for the price of 1 next Tuesday night, which is pretty cool. And then let's hear quickly from our sponsors. Of course, first and foremost, the great folks at Trisha's Learning Center, devoting their lives to children since 1992 from 0 to 12 years old with daycare, after-school programs, and more. Thank you for being the title sponsor of the Top Tier Racing Gen 6 Series this season and next season, which is pretty cool. Breaking news right there. And Majestic Promotional and Branded Apparel, whether you run a company, a government agency, sports team, or even a virtual race team, turn every item into a statement with Majestic Promotional and Branded Apparel. Comment for details or message me on Discord. We'll get you hooked up. SM Racing Products. Take your sim racing experience to the next level with custom-made button boxes, dashboards, flag lights, and more with SM Racing Products. Check them out right now at sm-racingproducts.com. And as always, use promo code ROYALTY at checkout for 20% off of your purchase of $150 or more. That's a sweet deal. But for Drafty Beef, for Kenny Kuko, everyone at Trish's Learning Center and the Top Tier Racing Gen 6 Series. My name is Joshua King. We appreciate you joining us this evening. We hope you enjoyed the action. Have a good rest of the night and a good rest of the week. We'll see you Saturday. Good night.